All right, everybody, welcome back. We are diving into something pretty cool today.
Yeah, this should be interesting, I think.
So we're getting back to basics with this one. And, I think this is something that is useful no matter what level you're at with English.
Right.
Whether you're, a native speaker or you're just starting out, we're going to be talking about basic English sentences.
Yeah, the foundation.
And looking at a beginner English lesson as our source material.
Cool.
So, think of this as like your cheat sheet for everyday English.
I like it.
So let's jump right in. I think one of the most fascinating things about this beginner lesson is how much emphasis it puts on greetings and introductions.
Absolutely.
It's like no matter where you are in the world, that's your starting point.
It's universal.
Yeah. And they start with those classics, right? Hello, how are you?
Yeah.
But what I really appreciate is that they don't just stop at I'm fine. They give you options like I'm doing well or even I'm not feeling well.
Yeah, that's important, I think.
Right. It's like acknowledging that, hey, we're not always 100%.
Yeah, exactly.
It adds a touch of realism to those first interactions.
And, imagine if you were traveling.
Right.
You're in a new country. Being able to express yourself honestly, even with just those simple phrases, can really make a difference.
Totally. And speaking of making connections, the lesson then moves into introductions, which, of course, they're essential.
Of course.
My name is, I am years old.
Yeah.
I am from mine. But there's this really interesting moment where a student asks specifically about saying, I'm a student.
Oh, interesting.
And I thought that was so insightful because it shows that even at this beginner level, they're already thinking about, okay, how do I share a bit more about myself?
How do you get past just those basic facts and actually start connecting?
Yeah, and the lesson kind of builds on that.
Yeah.
By introducing phrases like, I like, insert your hobby, I live in.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's taking those building blocks and adding those layers of personality.
I remember when I was first learning Spanish, I was living in Guatemala at the time.
Oh, wow.
And one of the first things I learned to say was, me gusta la música.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is, I like music. It's such a simple phrase.
Yeah.
But being able to share that with people really helped me make those connections.
Totally. It's like those little pieces of yourself that you put out there.
Absolutely.
And it reminds me of another section in the lesson that focuses on those, what I call polite phrases. The pleases and the thank yous.
Oh, yeah.
You're welcome. These little things we often take for granted, but
super important though.
Oh, they're so crucial.
Especially
they're like social glue, aren't they?
Yeah, like when you're first starting to learn a language.
Right.
You want to make sure you're not just spitting out information.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that you're coming across well.
Absolutely.
That you're being polite.
Yeah.
Being respectful.
And I love how the lesson points out the double function of, excuse me. It's not just about getting someone's attention.
Right.
It's about doing so politely.
Exactly.
Excuse me, can you help me?
Yeah.
It just softens the whole request.
It does.
And it's similar with, I'm sorry for being late. It's like taking responsibility, right?
Yeah.
Which, especially when you're learning a new language, I think that can go a long way in building trust.
It can. It really can.
So the lesson then kind of shifts gears and moves into a set of phrases that I like to call everyday essentials.
I like that.
It's those phrases that are going to help you unlock just daily interactions.
Yeah.
So we've got, what is this? Which, oh my gosh, that is so helpful for learning new vocabulary and context.
It is.
Right? Like you can literally just point to things.
You're learning on the fly.
Exactly. And then you've got, I don't understand.
Right.
Can you repeat that, please? Super important. How much does this cost?
Of course. Got to be able to shop.
Of course. And then, of course, the question every traveler needs at some point.
Yep.
Where is the restroom?
Where is the restroom? Yeah. And I actually think that's a really good example of how even within a language, there are these little cultural differences.
Yeah.
There are other words you could use.
Yeah.
But restroom is generally considered the most polite.
Interesting.
So it's like these seemingly simple phrases can actually open your eyes to all sorts of interesting things about communication.
And one of the most powerful phrases I think that they include is simply, "Can you help me, please?"
Yeah.
Or, "I need help." Because it emphasizes that asking for help is not a sign of weakness.
No, it's essential.
Right. Especially when it comes to language learning.
Especially when you're learning a language.
Like everybody needs help.
Mm-hmm.
And that actually brings us back to a theme that kind of runs throughout this whole lesson, which is confidence.
Right.
Even with these basic sentences.
Yeah.
If you approach it with confidence, it makes a world of difference.
Right. And I think this is so true, not just with language learning, but with anything you're trying to do.
Right.
If you believe in yourself, you're going to be more likely to succeed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like these basic sentences are the tools, and confidence is like the fuel that makes them work.
Look at it.
So we've covered greetings, introductions, politeness, those everyday essentials, a whole toolkit for starting your English journey.
That's a good starting point.
Now, what are you going to say first?
That's a good question.
All right, that's it for this deep dive.
Until next time. We'll see you on the next one.
See ya.
Bye.